Clifton Parker. I'm a charter member of Troop 12, and at present I'm not doing anything. I'm retired.
That is the truth. He lives next door to me.
But this guy copies me everything I do at the house.
Okay. Before we get started, there's some people, that I would like to introduce. And one of them is a very fine lady that I have here, Eagle Scout presentation, and it says 5 brothers, 5 eagles. And these are the lady that I want to introduce is Miss Naaman. But you can't say anything yet, Miss Naaman. It's George Naaman was first boy, the first eagle in Troop 12 in 1965. I think this is marvelous that we're recognizing the boys and everything, but look what the mother's done, and I really appreciate Miss Naaman. The next was Joe Jr., and he's here post 52 in 1970. And Bobby and Troop 36 in 1972. And James and Troop 36 in 1974. And Paul and Troop 36 in 1984. And there is an article in which paper is it in, Miss Naaman?
It came out in Catholic Week today.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Now, Miss Naaman was probably the lady that backed me 100%. And my wife don't agree with her, but I could do no wrong in scouting. Whatever I done was okay with Miss Naaman. And I appreciate that. And we're going to give you a chance, Miss Naaman, to say a few words if you would like to, being the mother of 5 eagles.
I think we'll give her a hand.
Yeah.
Like Cliff says, the boys got to start in Troop 12. And that we owe a debt for the rest of my son's lives and our lives, because Troop 12, to me, was a troop that was so outstanding at that time. I was just talking to the pastor of the church here now, brother, who was it back
Goff.
then? Brother Goff. And I was telling him that all of our children went to St. Matthew's School, and we had no troops there. And I remember Father Hinton Lipscomb, who is the nephew of our present Archbishop in Mobile, and he called me and he said, we need to start a troop at St. Matthew's. And he said, are you going to let your boys come? And I told him, I said, the boys are been in, we lived in right there at Ann in Baltimore for many, many years. And that was like 2 blocks from Troop 12 church. And I told him, I said, Father, I said, the boys are so in love with Troop 12, and they're doing so well. I said, I am not going to transfer them at all to a troop that's at our church. So we felt like the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter. In fact, we came to this dedication of this church when it was organized, when it was dedicated the first time. And we felt like this was our second church, because our boys got so much from the troop, from Troop 12, from the people that they met, and all I can say is we all express our gratitude to all of y'all. And Cliff Decker, he was the one. He made those boys toe the line, and I went along with whatever he said.
Hey. Miss Naaman, for your outstanding achievement, what you need is another 10. You got 5 eagles, but we're going to give you a pen to go with eagle, and then this for.
Oh, isn't that?
Yeah.
Cliff, thank you. I
Now.
really appreciate that.
Miss Naaman, I'm glad you said that, because I think she was the first woman liver that told the father that she wasn't going to transfer boys. And what isn't it wonderful? Here is the Catholic family, and this is what this troop was, a community troop. And she backed us 100%. And so we're very happy to introduce you. And another one that I know Henry's got to go, so Henry, we're going to give you a chance to get up and say something.
Well, you know, I have been around for quite a while, and it's going to be awful hard for me to do it, but I'm going to try to make it as short as possible.
Okay.
But you know, I had been down in Louisiana for about 2 or 3 years and was ostracized from the church, and I really felt bad about it. Came back, and my oldest boy, who was 48 now, was about 2 years old, a little less. And one night, Ray Booker was having a court of honor, and I sat through it, enjoyed it. Came out and he said, "You know, I need a sister." I said, "Who, me?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what? You suppose I could help you?" This is 1936. Just a couple of years or less from the original organization. He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, sounded good to me." So I did. But after about 5 years with him, we moved to Texas, out to Houston, and kind of dumped it in my lap. So I served for about 9 years. In 1945, Hap Hubbard, who came in Ray Seeger's place, came along and introduced me into becoming a professional scout. And I served as a district scout executive here in Mobile, in Birmingham, and out in Port Arthur, Texas. And as of now, let's see, I think my last active registration ran out in 1978, I believe. But I concluded about 44 years of active scouting in those capacities. And when I went out of professional scouting in 1953-4, why, I served as district commissioner and as roundtable commissioner and merit badge counselor in the Port Arthur area, and also again when I came over here. So my scouting has really been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it, and I certainly enjoyed the foundation that I found in Troop 12, and certainly Decker and I have related in a lot of ways about what scouting has done. To me, there's no finer way for a boy to get some basic training than he can ever get. Probably the crowning of that would be to look back and see Bill Rollins, who is now our district president of the Pensacola district. People like Bo Harmon, who is a member of the church now, by the way, and he's a teaching school or a principal school out in Oregon. But one time, a youngster came up to me on Dawson Street after World War II era, and he said, "You don't know me, do you?" I said, "You kind of embarrassed me a little bit." "I don't believe I do." And he said, "Well, I want you to know that my experience in your troop probably saved my life 5 times. It just caused me to have an outlook that I really appreciate in your service. It enabled me to get all kinds of privileges, because when they asked if anyone had scout experience, I told them yes. And it really made a lot of difference. To me, I'm thrilled to be here, and I hope that Scout Troop 12 shall be perpetuated. And Raymond, thanks for asking me.
The next person is myself, and I became Scoutmaster in 1951. And I was new, and believe me, you guys really gave me a tough time. And one of the guys laughing now is, and I'm going to pick on him a little bit, is George Tillman. He's got the green shirt on. I'm going to give you a chance, but I'm going to get you first. I was a new green Scoutmaster, and I know George's wife must have heard this. He don't, George don't want me to say this, but the reason I'm going to say this,
A lot of things I don't want you to say.
he was the most honoring boy that I had in my troop. Now, I didn't say mean or anything. I said honoring. And one time, troop rolling, we went to Pushmataha. And I really didn't know, how to get things rolling. And I was working, trying to get the boys to do right. And George kept tripping, and he had a cousin, James, and they were big guys anyway. They kept tripping the people and kept pushing them around. I said, George, please quit doing that. Please quit doing that. And so pretty soon, you guys have been to Pushmataha. There's a big, beautiful lake there. And so we were going on a 25-mile hike. And I didn't know really what discipline was. So I said, George, if you do that one more time, you're not going to go with us. So we're walking along on the dam. George trips the guy, and he goes falling down the hill. And I said, George, get your butt back to camp, You're not going. And his cousin trips the guy. And I said, both of you guys, get back to camp. And so we went on, and we weren't going to be back. This was early in the morning. And we was gone. We went out 25 miles, 12 and a half miles, cooked. And this is my version of the story, George. Yours might be a little different. But all day I worried about, oh gosh, what's George? What if he falls in the lake? What if he gets in trouble? And them two boys, I didn't leave them any food and nothing. And I punished those guys. So we get out there and the guys, they're cooking everything, and we come back to camp late at night. And I'm really worried. And so I tell the other scoutmaster, you bed them guys down. So I go over and I said, George and his cousin was in the tent. And I said, you guys okay? And I was really worried. And they said, yeah. And I started smelling, and I smelled fish. And this is no joke. I got my flashlight in the back of that tent. There were fish laying all over the ground. Them guys hadn't worried about us. They'd been fishing all day. So they had caught fish, so I said, you guys get up from there and get out there and clean them fish. So real late at night, George and them was cleaning the fish. And that is a story that has stuck with me all these years. And after that, George, I learned to be a little tolerant with guys tripping, because there's not any of you guys in here that didn't give me trouble, George. So you're not the only one. So from that little memory, George, I got a presentation that I'd like to make you. There you go. Just put the fish on there the next time. Just give them a little rundown.
Well, I'm just going to say a few words. Yes, I was a tester. I did test Bub Decker and enjoyed every minute of it. But there were good times in my scouting. I wasn't an ideal scout, but I knew there was something over there that I wanted to be a part of. Because those guys had a camaraderie, they had an esprit, and they were doing things. And there was a lot of other things in my neighborhood that I could do, but they weren't all that great. And it was leading boys in the wrong direction. And I wanted to be a part of what I saw those guys doing. And back then, Pushmataha was exciting. That meant a lot to a young boy to go out and do those things. And those ideals and those disciplines that back then that Cliff gave me, I would have to say was a starting point for me. Because I learned from that what respect, and I learned from him what responsibility was, and leadership and discipline. And there were a lot of good times, but there were some things that I learned that carried me over even to this day. And I appreciate Cliff and the opportunity that I had to be a part of these drills.
A little later on in our program, we are going to talk about George some more, because he's one of the people that we need. That'll be good, though. He's one of the people that out of this troop for persons that I want you to know. And so at a later time, we're going to talk about this. I would like to tell you right now that he is a lieutenant colonel in the Army, and he will be retiring, and he will be going under what we call general church appointment. He'll be working for God and Christ in our church. George, I am proud of you. We're going to talk, and in spite of what I said, the discipline was fine, but if you'll notice something else I said, that it was growing for me too. I didn't know. The next person that I'd like to introduce is a mother. You see, we had to have in our patrols, we had to have a mother that would help in the patrols. And the lady that I'd like to introduce to me and all of the troop, and we got to be careful when I say this, but I think that you'll agree, was the lady that pushed that patrol and worked with that patrol was Miss Fuquay. And you was one of the most outstanding ladies in the whole, in all the history of my scouting that worked with the boys. And Miss Fuquay seen those boys was the best equipped patrol in the whole troop. You know why? Because she got out and pushed. And one of the things that we got, Miss Fuquay, I have never forgotten, and that's this. You guys know what that is? How many of these have you guys sold? Miss Fuquay had the guys sell these, and I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. My boy hates Krispy Kreme donuts with Bryant Desser today because all these other guys here would get out and sell them. But you know what? We was the best equipped troop in the whole city because of Krispy Kreme, and we sold them. My boy hates Krispy Kreme, and you guys know I had problems. I'd put him out, and all these other guys would sell 25, 30. Herbie would just sell them. Bryant wouldn't go in. So I'd get out, and I had to put a little pressure on him. And he isn't able to be with us today, but he just made major in the Air Force. And I'm really proud, but he hates Krispy Kreme. He hates salesmen because one time I caught him standing out on the street, and he had 10 boxes like this, you know, and he wouldn't go sell them. So I got my belt, and I moved him along, you know, and he hates them today. But Miss Fuquay learned that patrol to love them Krispy Kreme. And like I said, Miss Fuquay, on behalf of the troop, we're going to present you Krispy Kreme. She's doing good. Are you able to say a few words?
Yeah, the children weren't the only ones that got fat off of the stove. But anyway, to the boys that were faithful to the truth, they were mighty rowdy at my house. We would have meetings and all. But all the people, I used to just keep sneaking around trying to get out so much. But I wouldn't let none of them do it. I fished them boys till I thought sometimes they hated it. How are you, Brother Decker? Bless his heart, I haven't seen him in so long. About a year or two, hasn't he? But anyway, boys, I want to tell you really, with all my heart, I must out here to appreciate y'all's cooperation. Because these, and there's 3 boys that was in the street for 4 or 5 years that wasn't able to come. They out of town. And I would really rather them be here also because they gave me a little bad time. But I want to tell the boys that I appreciate it. And I'm so glad to see Jerry, how are you? And
This is Billy. That's Paul.
I had to see.
I'm the one that's bald-headed.
Oh, well,
painted, you'll just have to forgive me. But one of the ladies that painted it just passed away this year. And Pete, I did love your mother, and that picture is really there. And it's very difficult for me to say that, and I know it is for you guys. But she loved this troop, and she wanted someone from this troop to preach her funeral, and she asked me, would I do this? And I told her that I would, but I wasn't able to. But Stancil and Tommy Sutton did. And Pete, I hope you'll forgive me for this, but I loved her, and I went to see her last year, and she was another mother that really supported us. And we needed the families, and that's what I'm trying to bring out today, and the families back this up. Another family that lost their dad was Billy and Tommy Holmes when they were young. But I want to tell you, they're two of the finest young men that came out of this troop and into scouting. And so, Tommy, I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing at this time.
Well, I'm Tommy Holmes, and notice I go by Tom Holmes now. That sort of changed when I graduated from college. I am a member of district committee in the Tuckabashie Council, which is in Montgomery, and have been there about 4 years. Billy and I didn't start out in Troop 12, and I'd like to just tell you briefly how we came to be here. Cliff mentioned our dad, and he was a very active scouter for many years, and we were part of a troop over in our part of town, which was over off of what was Fulton Road in those days, now Dolphin Island Parkway, and one night we went down to what was to be a troop meeting, and the church that sponsored our troop was having a business meeting. Anyway, we were, as boys will be, outside making a little noise in advance of the meeting, and the scoutmaster's wife came out and said, "What are y'all doing here? There's no meeting here tonight. And what are y'all making all this noise?" Well, it turned out I was the troop scribe, who's supposed to know to notify patrol leaders when we were having a meeting and when we weren't. So I questioned her as to why were we not informed? Well, she didn't care about that. All she cared was that we were making noise and disturbing the church. And, we called the house, and Dad came and picked us up. And she really read him off. And my dad just told her, well, if this is your attitude and this church's attitude towards scouting, we will not be back here. And we've been part of that troop about 2 years. The very next Monday night, we went to Troop 12. And that was in May of 1958. And Billy and I were part of the troop for several years following. And because of Cliff Decker and Leonard Ross and others had a number of opportunities. I think I was there 2 months, and I was troop scribe again, and held that office for about 3 years, and then served as junior assistant scoutmaster. I went on, Cliff mentioned some people, I went on to Mobile College here, which is a Baptist school. We started, while I was there, the chapter of Alpha Phi Omega, which is the National Service Fraternity for Scouts, and I served as the president of that group. Prior to that, I was the Order of the Air Lodge chief here from Mobile, and went on to be elected the vice chief of the statewide conference. And last year was honored with celebrating 31 years as a veteran scouter. I actually have a card that shows that I joined the Cub Scouts in November of 1952, and I've been actively registered ever since that time. I'm very proud of that because of people like Cliff have inspired us to do that. The last 2 or 3 years, I have been active in the Tuckabashie Council as a commissioner and as a committee chairman. I have a little boy now who's 7 years old, and he'll be here after a while for lunch. Some of you may know the Boy Scouts started the Tiger Cub program a year or so ago for 7-year-olds. And that was sort of in response to the fact that Brownies started at age 7, so they thought we ought to start boys at age 7. So my little boy is a Tiger Cub in a special school in Montgomery. As a result of his becoming a Tiger Cub, we started, and I say we, the parents at our school, started this year, in addition to the Tiger Cub troop, we also started a Cub Scout pack and Boy Scout troop for handicapped boys, and we have 7 Boy Scouts and 6 Cub Scouts. And we're real proud all of the boys in the Cub Scouts are all deaf. And they're having a scouting experience as a result of this troop.
I would like to also say, and you have to be careful when you do this, but Tommy was one of the outstanding leaders that came out of this troop. Not only in this troop, but in this council, and also nationwide. Tommy went on the 1964 Jamboree as a unit leader. He also was the only boy in this troop that we had a lot of Order there boys, but he was the only one that ever achieved chief in this area. As I said, you have to be really careful when you talk about this, but I think that Tommy done such an outstanding job that we really don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about you guys giving him any problems, because you know this. So Tommy, one of the awards that I do have and is the Outstanding Service Award from Troop 12, and I'd like to present this to you at this time. Okay, Billy.
What do you want me to do?
Well,
I'm taking movies. I'm trying to film this.
well, I want you to tell him who you are
I'm
and let
Billy
your boy do that.
I'm Billy Holmes. I'm Tommy's brother, of course. Like Tommy said, we joined the troop in 1958. Of course, I consider Decca my father, second father. Miss Decca.